YouTube.
I'll double check if you're. Let's see, it's two people waiting.
There we go.
Are we good?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. I see it on my iPad. Just gonna do a quick sound test. Testing. One, two, three. Testing.
There we go. Oh, cool. And you got us on the bottom right. I think so.
All right, and I think we are good to go. So,
Cool.
all right. So, what is going on, party people? Welcome here to the Destination Astro finale event. I am here with my two buddies, the handsome Mr. Wahpoh and your boy, Risen Rogue Academy. Guys, say hello to the people over here.
What's up, people?
Oi, oi, mate.
Yeah, so today we're wrapping up Destination Astrub, which was kind of a content creator event to get the community involved with the whole revamp of Dofus Touch and the relaunch of the game and the launch of the new server. And I'm happy to say I was able to complete all challenges. So we do have four giveaways for people in the stream. And when we get to that point, I'll tell you how to enter. But it is going to be a raffle, a random drawing here. But
Nice.
yeah, it's going to be super fun and everything. So here, I'm just going to drink WAP over here. We're just going to do some random fights for you guys to see on the screen. But let's get the ball rolling here. Wahpoh, you are new to the scene here. You're kind of up-and-coming content creator. And I'm happy to see that the game did bring in somebody new. For the people who don't know, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, about what you do, your YouTube channel, your Twitch channel, and then what brings you to Dofus Touch?
Yeah, man. So I've been streaming for about 2, 3 years. Like a little after the pandemic is when I started streaming. The game that I came from was Marvel Strike Force. It is if you've ever played any games like Raid Shadow Legends or Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes, very similar game. It's like a hero collector, just has the Marvel IP. And yeah, I'm a big Marvel fan, and just the game's graphics really have spoiled me. Like I've tried playing other games like it since I started playing Marvel Strike Force, and nothing's really come close. Like graphics wise, it's the best game out there of its kind. There's used to be a DC game, but that DC game doesn't even exist anymore. But yeah, I've been playing that game. That's what I kind of started my whole streaming journey on was Marvel Strike Force, and I still play it to this day. And let's see, I'm a dad. I'm 33. I like long walks on the beach and chocolate pudding.
Awesome. So, how did you come about Dofus Touch, or just Dofus in general? How do you go from like
Oh,
Marvel and like that more
yeah,
like Western properties to
yeah.
something
Well,
like Dofus?
Dofus, man. Oh my God. So Dofus was first introduced to me when I was in high school, man. I'm 33. I graduated in 2009, just for reference. Okay. So I heard about this game back in 2009, 2008, 2009, right before I graduated. My buddy used to play this game, regular Dofus on PC, all the time, and he would actually he wouldn't come outside, he wouldn't go to dances, he wouldn't hang out with us as his buddies because he got addicted to Dofus. And he had a couple accounts, and he's like, hey, I would always go to his house and I'd see him playing this, and I'm like, what is this game all about? So I took like a day just to kind of just hang out with him, and he would just kind of showed me the ropes about what this game's about. And I made my own account, and my first character I ever made was a SRAM, believe it or not. So I'm a SRAM main at heart, even though I'm not a SRAM right now. But that was a long, long time ago. And I picked up the game. I got to like level 150 or so. And then I quit because, I graduated high school. I went to get a job. I got a girlfriend. And, you just didn't have time for games. And um, I don't know how I ended up getting back to Dofus Touch. I think I maybe I saw like a trailer for it, that there was like a new server that was going to be coming out, and then I saw a trailer for it, and I was like, let me try it on Touch or on the mobile version again, and then I did, and I was like, oh, it feels very familiar. which I really liked. Like I liked that the UI and everything felt very familiar from what I remembered. And yeah, man, that's how I first heard about it was 12 something years ago, and I just happened to come across it, and I needed something new to play. So that's here I am now.
So your exposure to touch was fairly recent then. So this relaunch kind of worked in a way to get you back into the game.
Yeah, no, for sure. To Touch, yes, absolutely recent. Like I never actually downloaded Touch until probably about a week before the new server Epsilon was about to be released. So once I heard about it, I was like, let me just kind of get my feet wet a little bit. Let me see what class I might want to play on the new server. So I played around with a couple classes, and I was like, okay, let me just go with Craw because I've always wanted to play as Craw. Even like back in the day, I always thought the Archer was a cool character. So I picked up Craw. I made a Craw on like I think what was it, Grandipon? Grandipon was like the other server before
Grand
this.
Japan, yeah.
Grandipan.
Grandipan
I
and
think people.
Dodge.
Yeah, so I made an account on Grandipan, and I was like, all right, I think I'm gonna go Craw for once this new server gets released. So yeah, so very 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 new to Touch.
Okay, awesome, awesome. And then Risen, of course, Risen is no stranger to the Dofus touch scene. But Risen, if you could tell the people who are not familiar with yourself and your YouTube channel a little bit about yourself, what kind of content do you do, and then what brings you to touch specifically?
Okay, well, so I'm Risen, and I've been playing Dofus for let's say 14 years, I think. It was in 2010, and I had a friend who was French, and I remember I went to his house to play MMOs together. And I was playing Maple Story and he was playing Dofus. And he was trying to show me the game. But I was like, no, I kind of like Maple Story. So he had another friend there. They were playing Dofus together. And then he got so mad at me when I went home because I was playing Maple Story while they were playing Dofus. And he could cuss me out. He was mad. I was like, what are you doing playing Maple Story? We're playing Dofus. You're doing your own thing. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll try Dofus. And I tried Dofus, and I didn't sleep for like a week because I was playing Dofus. And yeah, that's how I got started. Is I met a French guy, and he introduced me. And so now I'm a YouTuber. I became a YouTuber initially because. So the way I became a YouTuber was actually that I wanted to prove to someone that I would have beaten them in a 1v1. So I drew out a diagram on what I could have done on my turn to win the fight because I was salty. I was salty as hell. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make a video on YouTube to explain how I would have won that fight. And one thing led to another, and I decided to make a rogue guide. I'm like, oh, I'm already drawing out this strategy stuff. Maybe I should get this notepad and draw out, rogue strategy. And that's what I did. And I released my rogue video. And that's how it sort of came to be. So that, and I didn't expect to make more videos. But then this guy said, hey, thanks for that video. Here's 3 million commas. And then he was like, I'll give you more commas if you make videos on this and this. And I'm like, great, I'll do it. And that's basically how it went. Was I got in a way paid to do it, and
All right.
it set the whole thing in motion.
Super cool. And then Touch, you've been playing it since it came out, right?
Touch since it came out, yeah. Touch and Pokemon Go came out at the same time, and when both of those came out, those have been my main games and are still my main games. So that is really what defined me into being a mobile gamer, and made YouTube out of it.
Super cool. So I think that's a good introductory for you guys. Guys, their channels, their YouTube channels are in the description, and Wahpoh, he's on Twitch as well. His links are in the description, so make sure you check him out. But you know what? I think we got a handful of people in the chat. I think it's time for our first giveaway. How do you guys feel about that? You
Let's
know.
do
Oh yeah,
it.
let's do it.
All right, so let's go ahead and switch the screen over. So this giveaway, folks, is going to be for a Monitor pet, which is like the little bull ceremonial pet. I should probably get a picture of it. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second here. This is why I'm not a streamer. I leave it to the professionals. Okay, so we'll be streaming off this little bull guy here. Let me see, for the giveaway, if you type in exclamation point enter 1, and I'll write it into the chat. Just type that into enter. And just type that in there. We'll give it a couple minutes here for people to go in there. And let's see who wins. But yeah, that leads us kind of to the next topic here. Epsilon, it's getting close to being a month old, right? It went by so fast. How do you guys feel about the new server, the fact that it's an English-only server? Wahpoh, if you could tell us a little bit about your journey on Epsilon. What are your impressions of it? Love it, hate it?
Well, I mean, I don't really have much to compare it to, right? Because I only played maybe like a few days on Grand Upon. So, but I mean, the experience, my experience so far has been great. I mean, I had maybe one sort of bad experience with a guildmate, with my guild, but I think it was just a miscommunication thing. They were I was trying to help. Somebody asked me if I could help them run like a jelly dungeon, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll help. And I purchased my own key, and I just asked them, hey, because this was right before I got my Gelano, and I was like, hey, I'm looking for these resources. Do you guys mind, selling them to me? I didn't ask them to give them to me because it was still early on, so I knew that they were worth some commas in the market. So I wasn't asking for a handout or anything. I was just like, hey, do you guys mind selling it to me? Because I need it, and they're like, yeah, sure. And we get to the end of the dungeon, and the two guys just ended up leaving the group, and I was like, okay, like, what happened? Like they felt like they ghosted me, and I was like, and I complained like a little baby. I complained to my guild leader. I was like, hey, they didn't sell me the drops they said they would. And they're like, then my leader had, mentioned it to them, and they apologized, and they refunded, like gave me some money for the key at least. Cause I was doing it to help them because they needed help through the dungeon. But I was like, hey, if I help them, I can get something out of it. But aside from that, from me being a little diva about, the drops that I was trying to get to make a Gelano ring, it's been a great experience. I mean, I can't really complain. As you could tell, I've been obsessed with the game based on just my level. Like I have a level 142 character, and then I have a level like 80 character. So I have two accounts already on the server, and I've just been having a lot of fun. So can't complain.
Sweet. In terms of like the flow of the game, and especially since you're a newcomer, like did you have any kind of challenges in coming to understanding some of the systems here? Did you think it was a little bit too complicated, or did you enjoy that it was complicated enough?
Good question. I would say the most satisfying thing, the most gratifying sort of quest or experience that I've had since I've been playing the game so far, was getting the silver Dofus, the silver Dofus. Beating the what is it, the autumn? They call him Autumn Night, I think, is the Autumn Night quest.
Yes.
The video that Risen made, right? Like I had already done that beforehand, and I actually thought about making a video for it because I thought it was just like the way that I felt after beating that boss, without having any type of help. I didn't ask anybody like, hey, how do you beat this guy? I didn't look up any guides. I didn't look up anything. I just kind of did it on my own, and I was like, and I beat it, and I was just like, wow, like that was challenging enough. And it was gratifying just to be able to go through that quest and be able to beat that. So that to me so far has been the best, like sort of like, oh my God, I can't believe I did it, like on my own kind of thing. Like that was like such a cool accomplishment. But the one thing that I'm still kind of learning is like the maging, like how to mage, and like soul, people like calling souling. I don't know what souling is. I'm assuming it's that soul capture spell, but I don't know what it's for or what to do. But luckily I've had a guild that has anytime I have a question, they've always been super super helpful. And you know, some random people that you meet on the server as well are very very helpful as well. So yeah, for the most part, any questions that I have, like everyone's been able to answer them for the most part.
Well, that's good. It sounds like overall you had a pretty positive experience with the game, which is awesome to
Yeah,
hear. Because I think
totally.
I think the biggest point of contention that people have, especially when people come onto the game not knowing anything about it, is they find it very frustrating and very complicated. Um, but I'm glad you had a positive experience. And then before we go over to Risen, I think we're gonna go over to the giveaway and see who wins here. So here we go. All right, I think everybody should be in there as of now, and let's roll it. Oh no. Okay, let's see. It's the first time I do this. It's okay. All right, give me a little break here. Keyword hashtag enter one. There are no eligible winners. What? What's going on here? I did use this Wahpoh Nightbot.
Yes. Oh boy. So have you connected the Nightbot to the YouTube yet?
Yes, I did that.
Okay, and everybody that wanted to enter, they typed in enter one.
Yes.
Okay. Um,
We're doing it live. We're doing it live.
yeah, you can either try that, or if you want to do it the way that I did it, just like by creating one of the wheels. Here, let me give you the link to the wheel. It's fun. It's easy to set up, and there's since we don't have like over a thousand people in here, you could just manually type in the names and select the winner.
You know what? I think that we might
Sweet,
have
I
to do
like
that.
Give me a second. I got one for you. Let me see. You're just gonna have to create your own. Um, oh, here we go. Yeah, there we go. So
You send me
copy.
through Discord.
No, I'm actually just gonna type it in, or I'm gonna just
Oh,
post the link
in the
in.
chat.
Yeah. Oh shit. Wait, does it let you click on the link?
It should. And then let's see.
If not, I can post it in the Discord. I'm gonna post it in the Discord as well, just in case.
Wait. Oh, wait. Does that? Wait. I think I didn't connect. No, cause all right. So Nightbot's picking up the chat. So it is connected to tier
Oh,
one.
Nightbot is picking up the chat.
Yeah. So you can see it on my stream.
Yeah. I mean, if it's connected to chat, you should just be able to hit roll it after everyone's entered. But the thing is, it doesn't actually show you all the people that have entered. Oh, you know what? At the top, you see where it says eligibility. Type
Yep.
it, or no, at the top where it says mods,
Regulars.
regulars. Yeah, just make sure you click on the one that says users too. Um,
There's no eligible users for the
yeah,
giveaway.
I'll be
Yeah,
honest.
what's going on
I've
here?
never, I've never done a giveaway using Nightbot. If I'm being totally completely honest, I use Nightbot, but I only use it for like song requests and stuff.
All right. All right. Where's that Ferris wheel?
I posted it in the Discord thing.
Let's see. Discord. Wheel of names. All right. All right.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to use. You just gotta. I'll tell you how many names. If you want, I can read off the names for you while you type them in.
Uh, Now here I got it. Live stream.
Okay.
Okay, we got there. We got one. We got two. Three. Four. And then, okay. We got JT. And I think Tom. I got you, Tom. And I think all right. I think we're good to go. All right, let's roll it. Okay, click to spin. Here we go. Big money. Big money.
You can also set the like you can go to customize if you want to like make the spin timer go a little bit longer. I like 25 to 30 seconds, but if you want a 10-second like a quick little roll, then you could just leave it as is.
All right, cool. Well, we got Anise. Congratulations, you won yourself a little bull pet. If you could, Anise, in the chat, if you could drop your character name and your account name and the server you're on, and I'll give that information to the Uncommon staff, and they'll put that into your account. So congratulations, and
Congrats.
congrats. And then we'll move over to Risen. So Risen, tell us about your experience on Epsilon server and just in general, starting from scratch.
Okay. So I have what we call cognitive dissonance because I I misled some people. I'm gonna make a video about it. So I had a video where I was like, okay, guys, I made this amazing video that's like, this is why you need to join Dofus Touch right now. And I was saying, like, you have to get in now because the toil of the dirt is what I called it. The toil of the dirt, where everything is super hard to do right now. It's hard to craft things. It's hard to level. It's hard to do. And I was trying to make a point that even though everything is hard right now and we're going to be noobs for a long time, that is the most fun time to play. And that's how I do feel that way about the new servers. And I did make that video as if, run on in, you're going to have a great time. But the video that I'm going to make next, which will probably come out on Monday, is going to be a video called I Understand Your Frustration. Because
Okay.
I have come to find that this game is fun but stressful. It's great. It's this like I said, the stress is great. This is an adventure, and on an adventure there's obstacles, and when there's obstacles, you try to overcome them, and it makes you fulfilled when you accomplish things, and that is completely present here. But it is kind of like stressful because everything is really expensive. Materials are expensive. Professions are slow to level, especially because you can't grind them very fast. What else? It's really hard to get keys together so that you can get enough people to come to a dungeon. And the reason that the group finder was so effective when the game first came out was because everyone had a bunch of keys. But now it's just there's a lot that's really frustrating. But I still hold true. This is where the cognitive dissonance comes in. One day, you are going to be level 200, and you're going to look back at the times where you struggled when the server opened, and you're going to be like, those were the days. Because it's very different of an experience when you start out on a new server, and it's really the truest of PvE, player versus environment, because you're holding hands with your friends and saying, let's tackle the world together and try to overcome these challenges. As soon as you hit level 200, everyone is a shark, and they're begging for relevancy, and the PvP is crazy, and everything is a lot more serious. But this is the time where we hold hands as a community and say, let's tackle this together. And that is where the fun of a new server lies, is in the friendship you make along the way, and the challenges, and it's a great game. It's an amazing game, and right now is the truest of the experiences of Dofus Touch.
And that is awesome to hear. And I have a similar experience too, as well. I think the social aspect of course, the MMO really came through with the launch of the new server. Everybody starting from scratch, everybody starting from level 1, and kind of just helping each other whenever it comes up, right? When I first started playing Grandapan, that huge social element was really missing because a lot of people were established. A lot of people moved on onto like more end game goals and objectives, and seeing how this kind of works when all the puzzle pieces are kind of lined up and in place, it truly made Dofus Touch and the Epsilon server a wonderful experience. And I'll talk about this a little bit later. And I wish Ankama would have a little bit of foresight and kind of keep this momentum and this kind of atmosphere going all throughout, just because it truly was a magical moment, and it was kind of a thing where you had to be here to experience it. I know a lot of people are complaining about like the prices and inflation, stuff like that, but I had a ton of fun just helping people out, just grouping up with random people, everybody being super friendly. So I do share that with you, Risen. And it seems like Wahpoh, besides that little fluke he had a pretty good experience overall.
Definitely a great experience. I am very thankful for this opportunity because we were all shocked. We were like, holy crap, they are releasing new servers. And we were excited, and the excitement was warranted because we are having a good time out here.
Yeah, and then the fact that they did new servers, it was it doesn't sound like a big deal, but it was a big deal. And like I said, I hope they keep the momentum going with the game and Epsilon. You could definitely tell some of the steam kind of run out, out of the whole relaunch and stuff like that. But I would say the game's still going pretty strong. And if you still haven't, I think it's still a good time to jump in there. I still see people, recruiting for like the field dungeon, co-op dungeon, stuff like that. You always have those people who are like power level and, they're well into like their 130s, 150s, stuff like that. But I think most people kind of pace themselves and kind of just had fun with it, right? And as for me, I think that was one of the best things about it. It's just playing with everybody else, everybody being hype about the new English server. And yeah, I mean, I have very little bad experiences outside of course, like the price stuff, which I think it's just the nature of having a new server with a small population where it's going to develop slowly, right? Especially if you're coming from another server like a Grandapan, where like, a Gob said, it costs chump change, right? And here, it costs you an arm and a leg. But that is part of it, right? How to navigate through that and how to like, just find a way. But yeah, I guess that puts us in a spot where we're gonna give away another thing here, folks. This is really cool. This is the Hesk mount, and if you're not familiar with the Hesk mount, it is. Let me go ahead and switch my screen here. It is this cool looking dog here. This Hesk mount is camo, so whatever colors you have on your characters, this is going to switch to them. So super awesome. To enter, we'll do the wheel and just type in exclamation point. Give me 1 second here.
That looks pretty cool.
Exclamation point, enter 2. So go ahead and put that into the chat, and we'll give it a few minutes here. But yeah, this is one of my favorite ceremonial pets mount skins, because I'm a big dog person. But yeah, that brings us to another topic here. Talking about the market. What are some of the challenges you guys faced throughout your journey? What was like frustrating about it? Like, oh man, I wish this was a little bit easier. I wish this was a little bit, more accessible. Wahpoh, do you have anything like that?
You mean in terms of like the market, or just
in terms of the market, game design? Got any bosses that were too tough? It's like, oh man, this should probably be toned down a little bit.
In terms of balancing, I think the game does a really good job at presenting like the quests, like the dungeon quests, appropriately to your level. I don't think I've ran into any dungeons where I'm like, oh my God, like I'm the right level and I'm the right gear, but I still feel like I shouldn't be here. Like I feel like every dungeon I've done so far, it's been appropriate to where I'm at in the game. Um, in terms of like things that were difficult for me, I mean, I wish like if it wasn't for me just kind of figuring it out and getting help from Twitch chat telling me like, hey, you should focus on crafting like the essences instead of buying the essences, then or crafting gear instead of buying the gear outright. Like if it wasn't for Twitch chat helping me or me just vocally being like asking people like, hey, what's the best way to make commas or what's the best way to get gear? Or what's the best, you know what I mean? Like so a lot of people won't be that sort of social and want to ask people. They'll want to try to figure it out on their own. And if they can't figure out how to make commas and upgrade their gear, a lot of people will probably just end up quitting the game.
Yeah.
You know, so
So speaking of commas, I mean, did you have any trouble with commas? Because I know that's a big turn off for a lot of people
yeah.
when it comes to upgrade their gear, and it turns out like, oh, I need money to get new gear. Um, uh, did you find it easy to make commas here? Was it hard? Can you tell us a little about your
No.
experience with commas?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, dude, I've played games like this where I've played games like, similar to this, but not really too similar. Like, I've never played Maple Story, so I don't really know what that game's about. I've just heard of Maple Story. Same with like RuneScape. I've heard of RuneScape. I've never played RuneScape. So, but I have played in games where they have auction houses and stuff. And, when I first started playing, the advantage that I had was that I streamed. So the advantage that I had was that I had people that were veterans that came in, like giving me tips on what I should do and how to make commas and stuff. And I just kind of took their advice. And, I even put out a commas video. Like the commas video that I made, it's going to be on my perspective. It's not going to be like this is the ultimate guide that you need to make commas. Like, because there's so many different ways that you can make commas, right? You can do it through achievements, you could do it through quests, you could do it through other things. So I'm just kind of giving people my perspective in my videos. But for me, I would say it wasn't that hard. Like once you figured out what you kind of had to do, like and realize that it's better to find what the associate recipes are asking for, and then craft them and buy the high quantity low cost ones, and then farm all the expensive ones, and then flip it for a profit. I just kind of did that, over and over and over again. Like, I did that a lot, especially with bread. Like I sold maybe like 1 to 2 million commas worth of bread like overnight, because all I did one day was I just grinded all the resources that I needed to get as much material to get to sell enough bread. So, once you figure it out, like it's just a matter of just putting the time into it.
So would you say bread? Bread was your go-to for making commas.
Yeah, well, for me,
Your
like
your bread and butter, and no pun
exactly.
intended.
All right. For some people, it'll be, potions because they're an alchemist, So some people it'll be making keys, for dungeons because they're handyman. So just whatever profession you decide to go with, there's always going to be something that you could do to leverage your profession to make commas.
Okay, awesome. And then, all right, before I switch it over to Risen, I guess we'll do the giveaway here for this fancy dog. So let me go ahead and switch the screen here. We're gonna do it manually with the Wheel of Fortune here. Let me see who entered two. Let me see, we got Matt. Got two in here. We got Tom. So you do this wheel thing on manually on yours?
Do you want to see what
Wahpoh?
my wheel looks like?
Oh, we got Virtual Gamer over here.
Hold on, let me show you. Let me show you what my wheel looks like. It's crazy. But then again, I was giving people two names in the hat, when I did my wheels, because I would give them one name when they followed on Twitch and then one name when they subscribed on YouTube. So
Oh, okay, all right.
yeah.
Let me see, we got JTO in there. Okay, did I miss anybody? No, I think I got everybody. Okay, just double checking. All right, let's spin it. All right, so where do you go? Oh, I just hit the spin button. All right, there we go. Here we go.
Yeah, you gotta be careful. Yeah, if you want to customize it, you could tell your chat that this one doesn't count, and then
And now
respin
that's
it.
all right. There you go, Gavin. Gavin, congratulations. You take home yourself a wonderful little puppy dog right there. So let me
Before
know. Let me know your character name, your account name, and your server that you're on, and I'll give that information to Ankama. And then let's keep moving, guys. Let's keep moving here. Risen.
before you do the next spin,
Oh
if
yeah.
you want to, did you want to change something on
You know,
about the spin or the spin timer or something?
you know what? I should probably because it's getting more intense. The prices here.
Yeah, I was gonna say let's make it more suspenseful for the spin.
Okay, so where do I go for that?
Just go to
Customize.
customize. Yeah, go to customize, and then it'll tell you right there spin time, and then you can change it to however many seconds you
I
want.
think 30 seconds. It's a good
There you
one.
go.
30 seconds is a good one.
Yeah.
All right, but yeah, switching over to Risen. You did talk a little bit about the market, professions. What are the challenges you face with your journey? Where it was kind of a little bit frustrating. Sometimes it's like, oh man, I wish this was a little bit different. Um, let us know.
I would say the main issue that I ran into, that a lot of people ran into. So first of all, I'm doing Kawit Dofus right now. I'm doing the quests, and I got walled at the Wabbit set part of the quest, where I need to like build that set so that I can run the dungeon in it. And I mean, the materials that I require, first of all, I would have to hunt a bunch of wabbits before I could even make a key to go into the dungeon, that I would have to drop a material from the boss like 3 or 4 times just to be able to craft one piece of the equipment. So you have to farm maybe like 12 keys, 15 keys, just so you can have enough chances to get enough materials for one part of the set, so that you can use that to do the quest and get the Kawit Dofus. So I'm walled at that, which is upsetting me. And then the other thing that is not just walling me, but walling everybody, is the fact that a lot of access quests, such as accessing the island of Pandala, as well as just quests that you need to get to the next stage of a lot of the main quests, require planks. And planks are very, very expensive right now. So you could technically be a lumberjack and grind to like level 60 or 70 or whatever you need to get the planks that you need. But because of the fact that like everyone needs it, it's you can't have everyone's first class to be a lumberjack so you get access to the game,
Yeah.
like if it was that you could only access the game if you're a lumberjack, like that just doesn't make sense. And as a result, you run into a lot of problems with the economy affecting the lumberjack market. So, which I guess essentially means the price will drop a lot faster. But at the end of the day, the fact that you need to be a lumberjack and grind it to a certain level and waste a profession slot to be able to afford to access these areas, I think is a very annoying block that is a little bit upsetting.
You
And
know,
I would say, actually, I have one more example, real quick.
yeah, go ahead, go
One
ahead.
more example I have, and I'm going to review this in my next video, is the fact that you need soul stones in order to do the quest that Automai gives you. And he doesn't give you the right soul stones. So you need to be able to buy the soul stones that you need for monsters that are over level 50. That's a complicated thing. I'll eventually make a video on the quest that Automai gives you called Eternal Harvest. But the fact that you have to buy very expensive soul stones to even get started on that quest, I think is ridiculous. So that's what I've run into that's been really upsetting.
I would say very valid points, but I was a capitalist and I did benefit from those planks being super expensive. I went right into lumberjacking right when the server opened, and I pretty much made millions, literally just on ashwood and selling planks. So that's where kind of like the kind of push pull comes into play, where like some people would benefit, right? Where some people, they gotta pay for it. But and then I did hear about the soulstone, which I think it should be fixed. It might have been a bug, right? I think I saw an update where they fixed that.
Risen, have you tried borrowing the set from anybody?
I do not have the set. I don't know anyone who even has the set.
Okay, I can ask my guild if you'd like, because
That would
that's
be
how.
amazing.
Yeah, bro, that's how I was able to do it. I didn't actually buy it myself. Again, that's just the advantage that I have as being a Twitch streamer, right? Is that I get people that
Right.
come in and just want to help me, right? So yeah, someone on chat was like, "Hey, I got you, man. Like, meet me there," and they let me borrow the set. I wore it, did the quest, got my Dofus, gave the set back, and everything was good. Like,
It's awesome.
so yeah, I'll
Love
ask around
that.
for you,
Love
bro,
that.
for sure.
Thank you so
Yeah. I
much.
mean, the social aspect of here is, is a big part of the game. But yeah, if you're playing by yourself and you need like the set and stuff like that, it's definitely not accessible, or it's definitely super hard. If you're playing solo, you're trying to craft it yourself. I myself would have been walled too if it wasn't for like the guild and the whole streaming and stuff like that. But yeah, I do agree. Where Dofus does have a tendency to kind of wall people in that regard, and it does become like a roadblock for people. It's like, oh, this is too hard, and I give up, right? For me, one of the challenges, it wasn't necessarily Wabbit Island, but I do think Wabbit Island is a terrible place to funnel people into. It's the island's frustrating. It's confusing, and like you said, if you want to finish the quest, right, you need that set, which on a new server is just so unattainable for a lot of people. Um, Another thing I found challenging, and I don't know if you guys ran into this, but the layers. I had a really hard time with the layers and getting the set items for that. What about you guys?
Uh,
Oh, though, yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead,
no,
Wappa.
you're good. You're good. Go ahead, bro.
Okay, yeah. Well, so the layers were annoying because not even because of how challenging they were. I liked that they were challenging. I liked that you had to advance yourself in order to access the next part of the set. The thing I don't like about it is that I feel like it sort of damaged the market for early game sets because what I was running into is I built my own intelligence set, and most the median of the quest the median of the gear pieces I had was about level 20 25, and it already became stronger than the lair equipment. So because of the fact that I had 400 intelligence instead of about like 230 or less power, I was able to get ahead because of that, but I had to grind for it, and there wasn't a lot of a market for those early game sets. So I had to craft it myself, which is, the nature of a new server. But at the same time, like, yes, the layers were really difficult. I finally managed to get ahead of it because I built my own set. What I was kind of messing with was the idea of having a set that has many different set pieces. There's two reasons I liked it. Was one is that there's special trophies specifically for if you have a very limited amount of set bonus. So you can only have two pieces from the same set. And so I was trying to capitalize on those trophies. But the second thing I liked about it is that I could replace one piece of equipment at a time. And so I was able to slowly increase my intelligence bit by bit. And I used that to my advantage to beat layers a little bit over time as I got stronger and stronger. So usually you would be, if you only used lair equipment, then you would eventually be stuck. you'd be stuck because you'd have the set that you had from the previous layer, and it's not enough to carry you forward. But I would say it is worth looking into building a low level set that might be a little bit more advantageous, and that will carry you forward to the next layer.
All right, and then what about you, Wahpoh? Did you have any trouble with getting the layer sets?
Layer sets. Was that the question? I was gonna ask you to repeat the
Yeah,
question. So the
yeah,
question.
because one of the issues I had was kind of like using the layers as kind of easing me into like a more higher level sets,
Yeah.
and not and kind of removing that because I do like the idea of layers and how they remove the element of you crafting your own set and having not having to worry about that. The issue I had was where some of the layers they were just too tough. I just didn't have enough damage output to keep progressing through the layers and to
Where
keep
did
upgrading my
you
gears.
Where did you stop?
So specifically, it was the spider. I couldn't kill it under
Oh,
four
okay.
turns. So at that point, was it the Celestial Arachne? I couldn't get the last two pieces of set. And at that point, I was kind of forced, which I didn't like, to go and craft my own custom set.
Gotcha. So to answer your question, I didn't actually start doing the layer stuff until until
Oh,
I was
okay, all right.
past until I was past level 100. So yeah, I got through most of the layers relatively with ease because I was already set it up to begin with. So I don't even have a proper set. I don't think I've had a proper set. I think the closest I've gotten to having a full set is the crystal ball set because the crystal ball has an amulet that gives 1 AP, and I don't know. There was also a little hat that it had some range on it as well. So I just thought it was really good for me. But aside from that, my if you looked at my gear, it's just a bunch of mishmash of a bunch of different things. So once I started doing all the layer quests, I was able to get through them pretty easily. Like right now, I'm on what is it? It's called a truly Brius.
It's one of the trolls, right? I
One of the
think
trolls, yeah.
I might have
I've
it
already
here.
beat I've already beat one of them, but there's another one that I haven't beat yet. But I haven't. It's not because I haven't beaten it yet because I'm stuck. I just haven't beaten it because I haven't done it yet. So I think I'll have a pretty easy time getting through it just because of my level and my gear and stuff that I have now. So, but yeah, to answer your question, I'm just gonna say no. I didn't really take advantage of those sets, but I did see that there was a set. I can't remember which one it was, but it gave a bunch of really good stats. I think one of them even gave like 1 AP if you equipped all of them. But how I ended up getting through the early game was I purchased the mounts for $5. The mount that gives one MP.
Right, with the little bird, which you can see on my screen right
Yeah,
now.
I got that mount for $5, and then I also got what is it? There's like a class. What do they call them? Let me see if I could find it. Class pack. Yeah. So I bought a class pack for. Was it a class pack? No, I think that's like a cosmetic thing. It was one for intelligence. I don't remember what it's called, but it's one for intelligence, and it gives you a bunch of good stats, and it gives you like a little pet that gives you a bunch of intelligence. So that's what I ended up doing to help kind of the early game for me at least. So I did have to spend money. I'm just gonna be honest.
Yeah, yeah, no, I spent, I did get the scout pack and the starter pack too, um, which it definitely helped. And it wasn't that expensive, like $5. I spent
I'm
like
glad I
definitely spent like
I'm
around ten
glad I didn't
bucks.
know about that.
Um,
I'm glad I didn't know about that because if I knew about that, I would have spent the money most likely. The fact that I didn't know about that and thought I didn't have any options was the reason why I built a set from scratch. So I guess there was some advantage to keeping me busy, but if I would have known I could buy something, I probably would have. That would have helped a lot.
yeah, I
Yeah.
mean they had starting gear too. Let me see if they still have it. They had like oh, here it is, like the storm pack, right, which is like your agility gear, but it's only good up until level. You have to be level 25 to equip it. So you could probably use it up until like your 70s maybe. I don't know if it'll take you to 100.
Hey, are you in game right now, Risen?
I'm not. I'm just watching the stream and talking over you guys.
Gotcha. Okay. I have that set for you, by the way.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
Let's,
Perfect.
we can do that
Um.
after the stream. You can hand that over to me if you don't mind.
Okay. Yeah. No. Of course.
All right.
Yeah. My
Thanks, man.
my my guild leader let me borrow it. I guess it's like a community set, so everybody in the
Yeah,
guild uses it. So we got to make sure we get it back.
definitely.
And that's awesome. But yeah,
Appreciate that, man.
the biggest thing was the layer thing because I think it was a good way to kind of guide the player through like the progression of leveling up and leveling up your gear to fight tougher enemies. I just hit a wall. I don't know if it was just my int Saran where it was just not doing enough damage, but I really dislike where like I had to over level my character by like 20 levels to finally get it, and by the time I got it, like I don't need this hat anymore, right?
I've been there.
Yeah.
I've definitely been there.
But yeah, let's take a little break over here to do another giveaway. And folks, this is a good one here. You definitely want to sign up for here. And Wahpoh and Risen, if you want to go ahead and join this one too,
Oh.
throw it in there. But this is for the Ratharos set. With Ratharos, it's that dragon you fought during Silver Dofus. It's also remote items. You get a fancy hat, a shield, and I think the cape. So, and then to enter, you know what? Let's do enter. Let's see. I started calling it Ratty. So.
I don't really want to win because that'll take away from a viewer, so I'll just sit out of it.
All right, that's cool. That's cool. I just want to make sure I don't want to leave you guys out just because you guys are
It's
our guests
cosmetic,
here.
right?
It's all cosmetics.
Oh, okay, cool.
So to enter, exclamation point enter 3, and we'll run that for a little bit there, and then yeah. So another challenge I did kind of run into is when I did start to do custom sets. I do think there's a huge imbalance when it comes to like ingredients, and I think Risen, you talked about this a little bit, where you need like 20 of a certain item, and it's just so much. And it's like level like 50 gear, level 80 gear, and and this being a new server and prices just being crazy, you have no other option than to go farm it yourself. But it does get a little bit grindy and a little bit near kind of impossible, right? Because if we look at something like this, for dollar belt, 22 dragon eggs for this. Right, which if you're solo, that's at least 22 fights if you're lucky to drop one egg per fight, right? So a lot of this stuff does become unaccessible, and that's why I thought the layers were such a good idea because you don't have to worry about this, right? The layer sets, they weren't fancy,
Yeah.
they weren't OP, but they were good enough, right? But if you want the custom gear, you have the option. But like I said, I didn't like how the layers kind of forced me out of this game loop where I'm like, okay, I'm level 70. Let's go do the level 70 layer, and let's get the level 70 gear. I'm level 80. All right, let's go to level 80 layer and level up my gear. Right. So I didn't like how that was kind of not balanced, and obviously the recipes. I don't think the recipes are balanced at all. I think they work.
Yeah.
I think they work on a server that has like 10x the population, and where everybody is dropping hordes of everything. But obviously here on Epsilon, we have a tiny population. It's a little bit more of a slow burn, and that's why we have a lot of like crazy prices for a lot of this stuff. I don't know. What do you guys think?
So here's my thing.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So here's my thing. My big thing is that if you want to enjoy Dofus Touch, you have to be like a Zen monk, like live in the moment. Because if you're under level 200, then you need XP, which means everything you fight gives XP. And if you're thinking, hey, I need to do this so that I can get to the point where I can enjoy the game, there is no, that sort of mentality does not take you far in Dofus. I feel like the safest and the most healthy way to play this game is, oh well, I need these dragon eggs, so I'm gonna go fight the monsters to get those dragon eggs. And what you really learn from that is you have to, whether you're fighting, a big boss or these small monsters, you're always fighting something. So if you just see every fight as part of the adventure, then it really doesn't matter what you're fighting if there's something that's specifically pulling you to the dragon eggs. Like, you just gotta enjoy every second of the process, and it'll make it a lot less stressful to build sets. Because XP is XP. Some XP is faster, but if you need to fight dragons, you're getting XP out of it. You're getting other drops that you can sell and make commas, and it's just, you have to enjoy every fight, and that's how you survive in this game.
I think you brought up a good point where definitely pacing yourself was kind of like a big element for my enjoyment of the game, because I knew there was no point of leveling up, right? If you can't really get that gear for your level. And so something I did do on purpose was kind of pace myself, right? And I think that really helped with kind of stabilizing the inflow of commas and the outflow of commas, selling and buying stuff. But yeah, I do agree. A big part of the enjoyment was kind of just having fun with it, right? And not worrying too much about getting the best gear at like level 65, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and what about you, Wahpoh? Because I think you made it to level. What was your level? You're like 130, 140. What do you think about the pacing of the game? Did you feel like you need to grind a lot to get to where you're at, or?
I mean, yeah, bro. I mean, last week I was sick, and that week that I was sick, I spent most of it recovering, but I also spent most of it playing this game. So, I'd say the progression is good. I think it's good. I think once you get that Kewit Dofus, like that to me was probably the biggest sort of pain in my side that I've experienced so far, was the whole Kewit Dofus and just not knowing how to navigate through those tunnels. And if I didn't have a chat to kind of walk me through it and tell me like, hey, go on Papicha, if I didn't know Papicha existed, so it's like little things like that, like that if a casual player that doesn't really go on social media, doesn't go on YouTube, doesn't go on Twitch to try to find answers for these kind of things, once they get to the Kewit Dofus, like, or get to that quest, they're probably going to end up just abandoning the quest altogether, not knowing how important that Dofus really is, for your experience progression. So, like, I think little things like that, they can sort of like, maybe, I don't know, like once they get to that quest, they can maybe put it in the quest, like, hey, if you need help, go to this website. This will probably help guide you through it.
What you're talking about is universal across this game.
Yeah.
So all the new quests, like Kania is a new area from years ago, and then Astrub they revamped and they made the quests doable. But for the most part, a lot of these quests, if you don't have the wiki and you're not like super analyzing all the text, you get stuck. You cannot progress in this game without the wiki. You can't get very far with it because the quests are genuinely challenging to the point. The problem is, if you've ever played Mega Man, so like Mega Man on like the original arcade machine was like, or Battletoads were very, very hard games. And the way that gaming is going right now is that games are getting progressively easier because it makes them more addictive. So, but the thing is that Dofus and a lot of these quests have been around for a long time. Some of these quests are like 16 years old, which means it comes with a lot of that old mentality. Let's make the quests as hard as possible so people feel like they really earned it. but it's not that world anymore. Why would someone grind the quests for hours just to make one step, by figuring out exactly what they're supposed to do? It's just not that world anymore. And now we sort of need our hand held. And as much as that's not the greatest thing that gaming has become, it's the reality. And Dofus Touch needs to address that. We can't look on the wiki for everything, because who's really playing the game? That's the wiki playing the game. And that's the commonality for all the Dofus quests right now.
You know what? Rissa? I think you hit the nail on the head. Where a lot of the game design elements of this game are kind of stuck in the past. Like I mentioned earlier, I think funneling players to Wabbit Island. I don't think that's a great idea, because the island truly is frustrating. I think we could all attest to how much we don't want to be on that island. I get it, haha. The Wabbits, they're funny. It's like kind of like an inside joke, right, type of thing. But at the end of the day, it is kind of like a turnoff for players. But I did think they did a fantastic job with the whole Silver Dofus. I think the way the Silver Dofus questline kind of guided you. It was a good middle ground between like holding your hand and kind of doing your things. It was made like in chunks where it was like very digestible in small gameplay sessions. It's like, okay, this is the part where you go to the gob area, right? Oh, this is the part where you go to the tofu area. This is the part where, right? So it was very well paced and very digestible. But something like Wabbit Island definitely isn't. Even as a veteran of this game, I think Wabbit Island needs a revamp. I truly do. And then going beyond that, especially with the Ice Dofus, like that quest is convoluted. It is complex. It drags on for no other reason than it was made 20 years ago or however long it's been. But yeah, here let's see who's gonna win the set over here. Let me go back into the chat, and we're raffling off this Ratharos set. With Ratharos was he was a character in the Silver quest line here. So we are gonna put in those names in here. Actually, give me 1 second. And another question I want to ask in between I do this is what classes did you guys play? Did you guys mix it up from the server you're coming from? Wahpoh, I saw that you were playing Accra, and you did talk about how you wanted to play the like a long range kind of class. What kind of yeah? Can you tell us a little bit about your experience about the product?
The thing I like, well, when I first played the game like a long time ago, I played SRAM, and I just really enjoyed like traps and being invisible and having a double and stuff. I don't know. I just thought it was like I liked being sneaky like that. I really enjoyed playing SRAM. But like with Dofus Touch and the new server, the week before the new servers came out, I was on Grand Upon just messing around with Panda. I was messing around with IOP. I was messing around with Sax, Adita, and then I came across Craw, and I've always kind of liked like range characters, especially in a game like this where it's it's very tactical and it goes a bit like the whole map is a grid, and having the range I just thought would be a really big advantage. And then when I finally understood how to use the beacons, that's when the whole character, the class changed for me. So now that I know how to utilize beacons more, I'm having a lot more fun with it for sure. But I made an Eka flip on my baby. I have a baby Eka flip that's like level 79 or 80, and I'm having so much fun playing on that Eka flip and being able to get a guaranteed Larry. Larry, by the way, is the Chafer Lancer. For those of you that don't know, I named him.
That skeleton's OP.
It is, bro. It is. It's got like 1,000 HP once you get him kind of leveled up a little bit. And he hits twice, and he actually sometimes hits harder than I do, and it's crazy. So having a guaranteed Larry with an Echo Flip class is just insane, bro. So I've just been having so much fun with Echo Flip. I was actually thinking earlier this week that I wanted to switch my main class, my Craw, and pay the $20 to switch over to like a Feka or something, because like now when I'm playing with groups, like it seems like a lot of groups, especially in these high level dungeons, Craw is not like the first class that people go for, like when they're trying to put together a team. Like it's either Feka or it's a mask because of the shields, or it's an Osa because of the summons, for like the skunk dungeon. So it's like I'm like, man, like Craw, like no one's like, oh, I need a Craw on the team. It's a fun class, don't get me wrong, but it's just like I'm having second thoughts of like whether or not this is the class that I'm going to commit all the way to level 200. The good news is that I still have that option to pay the $20 or however much it's going to cost once I get it like later on in the game, and if I want to switch. But I mean, it sucks that it's going to cost that much money to switch the class later if I wanted to.
Right, but you have fun with the Craw, right? And you were
Yeah,
running
absolutely.
intelligence.
Yeah, I'm running until it's right now I'm just a mono element. I'm thinking about the later I get into the game, I've just been thinking like, what am I gonna do? Like, how do I get more damage on this character? Obviously with equipment, but then I was thinking about like, what if I buy the brulee mount that gives me 160 intelligence? Like, I know it's gonna take a lot of time for me to get those stats on it, but I think I could leverage the brulee mount, and it'll kind of ease up on me being so picky about my gear, because I'm so picky about the gear that I put on, because if it doesn't have enough intelligence, I won't buy it, or I won't craft it, or I don't want to wear it. You get me? So I'm just thinking like, if I buy this brulee mount, it's gonna give me all the intelligence that like I'm looking for, and then I can actually kind of play around with some sets that maybe don't have as much intelligence.
All right. And then before I turn it over to Risen, let's go ahead and spin this wheel over here. Come on, all right. Big money, guys. Good luck. Here we go.
Woo woo.
Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh, 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 oh. Oh, I think we got one. I think we got one. Yeah. Is it going to Wahpoh? No, it's not. It's staying. All right. Mad dudes, congratulations on your win. Go ahead and give me your character name, your account name, and then the server you're on. And I'll give that information to Ankama. Make sure you type that in. If you haven't, past winners, if you haven't done so, please type it into the chat, because that's the only way I'm going to give this prize to you. But yeah, moving on. Risen, what class did you pick for Epsilon?
What class did Risen Rogue Academy bring to Dofus new servers? Rogue, baby. Rogue is my thing. I love Rogue. Now, back in the day, when Rogue first came out, and it's always been on Dofus Touch, but the day that I discovered Rogue, I realized that Rogue is what they built the game around at that point. That's not true. I know it's not true, but that's what I tell myself, is that the Rogue was made so masterfully as a class that it almost felt like it's the focal point of the class building for Dofus Touch, because it's just so strategic and so thoughtful, and it requires a decent amount of intelligence. Like, if you're a rogue main, you are like naturally, or at least at the time, you were naturally at least mid player. You can't be less than mid as a rogue main, because it required so much. But now we're at the point where there's so many class revamps that a lot of the classes are very challenging, and a lot of the classes are engaging, and they make you think. And now it's at the point where there are classes that can keep up with Rogue on the level of complexity, but I still hold myself as a forever Rogue main, because I just loved how it made me engaged. You couldn't. So if I was an IOP, then I wouldn't think about my turn until my turn started. But what I liked about Rogue is that I had to stare at the screen the entire fight, because if I didn't plan my move throughout the entire fight, then I wasn't going to do any damage at all. And that's what I liked most about Rogue. The second thing I liked most about Rogue is that it's a very flashy class. When you do damage with a Rogue, like, people will say something, especially if you do like 3,000 damage or above, like crazy damage. People will be like, "Oh my gosh, I've never seen someone play like you," or "I don't understand this class, but it looks really cool." And I got so many like comments of people being wowed by it that I became like the hitter for Frigost 1. So what that means is, a long time ago, there, I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but I was carrying people through XP all the time because I loved people commenting on my Rogue. People commenting on my Rogue drove me to 200, and that's how I got there. And ever since then, I'm a Rogue main. I love it.
I love to, so your Rogue, it was turning heads pretty much. It was impressing people what it can do.
Absolutely.
Because Rogue's a class where I don't know too much about it. I do know it's, it's one of the classes that's on the more complex side. To like it's hard to learn, but once you learn, you're kicking butt with it. But so one thing I do want to bring up is a lot of the classes did go through like a mini revamp type of thing. They kind of tweak the spells here and there. Did something like that happen to Rogue? And were those changes good for it or no?
So Rogue was like famously like never touched, like until maybe like a year ago ish. So like Rogue was something that they like knew it was a balanced class, in that like it wasn't. They paid you to be good at it. Like, it was such a complicated class that they're like, you know what? If you could master this class, we'll let you do crazy damage because it's complicated for most people. And then they added the spell Crossing, which basically lets you move a bomb like way more versatile, with much more versatility, which allowed you to be, I guess, it just made Rogue so much easier. But with the latest update, they like really messed with things a little bit. Now there's a lot more spells that boost your damage of your bombs, that are more active than it is laying in wait for the right time to attack. So back in the day, what you would do is you would hide bombs until you're ready to use them, because every turn they would get stronger. But now it's at the point where you have to move bombs around and utilize them and be like a position with them. And every time you position it, it increases the damage of your bombs. So that's the first like major update that Rogue got pretty much since launch. So they made it so that you had to interact with your bombs instead of just hiding it for them to do damage. Unfortunately, that does mean it's a damage drop as far as getting a lot of damage early on. But still, even then, it's still the heaviest damage class in the game, but now it's just a lot more of an active play style, and it's the biggest change that it's ever had.
And that's good to hear because, yeah, like I said, like the few things I do know about Rogue, it was a very setup heavy class. Where like you would, from what I've seen, other rogues do, like you don't do anything for like the first 5 turns, and you're just kind of like setting up your bombs and positioning, and then you have like that explosive turn at the end. But I'm glad they made it a little bit more active and a little bit more engaging, engaging class. But it sounds like
Absolutely.
It sounds like it was a good change then.
They made it harder, to be honest. They
Okay.
did make it a higher. They made it a higher IQ class than it already was. but but there are a couple new spells that they added that does make it a lot easier on you. There's one spell that lets you put shield on bombs, which is really helpful, and another one which is crossing that makes it a lot easier to move bombs around. But even then, they made it a harder class with the latest update. So I'm actually really enjoying it because I like things to be overcomplicated because it forces me to pay attention. And that just keeps it more engaging, and I love it. I love Rogue.
Yeah, well, I mean, which is cool because it's like, okay, so this is the type of player or person who would gravitate towards a class like this, right? And
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of like that with the Saram. I went with my trusty old Saram. I'm a Saram player through and through, and this is the first time I play an intelligence Saram, and with intelligence, they made it viable because as before, intelligence was usually used in conjunction with Earth, obviously because of the trap systems you could build. But I do like how you can move stuff around here. The intelligence is kind of like the more it leans heavy towards the trap build, but I do feel it does have like kind of like the rogue syndrome where like the first few turns you're just setting up your traps and you're not doing much of anything. But I do like what they did with the SRAM, with the whole contract system. I've seen comments where like, oh, the SRAM's not as effective as it used to be because of invisibility. And obviously, invisibility was a spell where it was kind of OP, right? Truth be told, the spell was broken. And obviously, you can't play carelessly anymore with, Invisible SRAM. But overall, I did enjoy the experience from it. Intelligence SRAM does feel like it's a little bit harder to drive than the other branches. But I had a lot of fun with setting traps. And I can't, I'm gonna stick with it because, like you said, Risen, where like once you build like a fancy trap network, like people get impressed and it's cool. It's like, oh shoot, that was cool. Like you like one shot somebody because you made them go slip and slide over the place and then they died.
Yeah, it's very gratifying.
Yeah, very gratifying. Yeah, but I'm gonna stick with Intelligence Saram. See where that goes. But yeah, it felt fresh. I've been a Saran main through and through since, my journey with Dofus and Dofus Touch. But all the changes they made for it, I think it works. Besides, invisibility, you can't be as careless anymore. But I think it works as a class, and it works as the assassin class, right? It still does that. But before we move to another topic, let's go ahead and run another giveaway, folks. Oh, we're full of surprises over here. Let's go ahead and switch over to our giveaway screen. And this is the big one, guys. You guys don't want to miss one. This is for the Enchanter pack. It comes with a fancy pet, a butterfly pet's mouth, butterfly hat, butterfly shield. This is one fancy pack. And let's see here. Let's do the same thing. Exclamation point. Enter 4. And this is our fourth giveaway.
Make sure to type that in the chat. Make sure to type exclamation point enter 4 into the chat because it'll show yellow and people will know exactly what to do.
So just type in exclamation point enter 4 onto the chat and then I'll add you to the list here. And while we wait for this to populate, people enter, let's move on to the next topic. Let's keep it on Epsilon. I'm gonna shoot it to you first, Risen. Are you planning to stick with Epsilon, or has the new car smell worn off? Are you committed to Epsilon? Let us know.
Am I committed to Epsilon? I would say that I am committed for as long as you know what? I sort of made a promise to people that I wouldn't main Epsilon because I have friends in Grandapan who one of them was Kazriel, who I've made a promise to her that I wouldn't be a main on there and that I would always come back to her guild and help out and all that kind of stuff. So, but definitely while things are like juicy right now, like things are like pumped up, like I'm like addicted to Epsilon. I don't think I could go on Grandapan right now and feel like I'm getting anything out of it because Epsilon is just calling my name right now. But even then, like I when the servers merge, the international servers, I will be I'll be back on Grandapan because that's there's a lot of people I know there. There's a lot of people who expect me to log on, message me when I log in, and that's where my community is. But Epsilon, I think, will be around for a very long time, and I'm gonna say that I'm trying to balance the two.
Okay, awesome. And then obviously you, Wapo, you say you've had characters on Grandapan.
Yeah,
Were you at Endgame pretty much on
no,
Grandapan? Oh,
no,
okay,
bro.
no.
I literally downloaded this game back onto my phone the week before the new server was announced. So the little time that I spent in Grand Upon was just me kind of figuring out which class I wanted to play on this server. So this is my home. I mean, I'm not going anywhere. This is like it would be silly for me to go anywhere else or switch back because this is where I have all of my time invested.
Okay, okay. No, that's
Yeah.
awesome. It's awesome to have somebody who's like their starting experience is like this
hmm
whole relaunch of the game.
Yeah.
And this is
One thing I
why,
wanted to
yeah,
ask
go
you
ahead.
guys, without cutting you off, because I'm still new, right? I was feeling a little bit of IOP envy last week. I don't know if you guys experienced that when you guys first started playing this game, but when I was playing with some IOPs that were just dealing like damage in the thousands. Like I'm over here doing like 300, maybe 400 damage, on crits. These guys were hitting close to 2,000. Like I was seeing like an average of 1,000 to 1,500, 1,500 damage per hit on these IOPS, and I was like, what is this feeling that I'm feeling? Like I wanted to switch to IOPS so bad. Am I can't be the only one.
It's definitely
Well,
yeah, it's definitely
that's what
hard
IF is there
not
for.
yeah not to have like damage envy because you see like the big numbers, right? The big flashy numbers. And actually,
Yeah.
we have a Yop here on the stream, and I'm dealing like 200 damage and stuff like that. I'm struggling through fights, but that's just a Yop class, right? But again, going back to like picking a class that kind of matches your personality, even though the Yop is the go-to poster child for like damage,
hmm
I personally have no like interest or like emotional connection to the class, right?
Makes
But
sense.
but no, I get it. I totally get it.
I was like, what am I feeling right now? Like, why do I want to switch to a yacht? But no, and then yeah, I don't know. The reason I think I wanted to make an Eka flip was when I saw that you can get 200% crit on your Eka flip and you can get a guaranteed Larry. I just thought that was really good. And I know people don't really like it when like especially on my craw, whenever I summon a Chafer and it's not Larry, people are pissed. They're like, why the hell did you summon? They're like, why the hell did you summon? But no one says anything when Larry comes out, right? When you get that Chafe Lance, it's like, all right, we got another soldier out there. So I don't know. I've been really liking this Eka Flip class, and I don't know. I'm not sure what I want to do. If I want to commit to building both classes up to the end game, or if I want to switch my main class to an Eka Flip. I don't know. I'm still kind of just kind of messing around. I still don't know if I've even found the class that really suits me because initially it was SRAM, and then now I'm playing Craw, and Craw is fun and all, but I still don't think the Craw is like my class. You get me? Like I'm still trying to figure that out.
Which is good. Which is I love how you're kind of exploring different classes because I do think you get the most out of your experience when you play a class where you just connect to, just on a personal level, right? Not necessarily
Yeah,
because it does big damage or it's good at doing it. You just like playing the class, right? And that's,
exactly.
I mean, we see Risen, right? He's a through and through rogue player. Like no matter what happens to the rogue, he's ride or die, right? Like he's
Right.
he's not playing anything else. I'm
Ride
kind
or
of the same
die.
way. I'm kind of the same way with Saram, but that's why I always and it's kind of like the cheesy, kind of like the cliche answers, like play what you want to play, right? But a lot of people don't want to hear that. It's like, oh, which class is the best meta class, right? Which class is best soloing? right? And and it's hard to kind of convince them, like, just play what's fun, play what's fun. Uh, but no, I totally get it with the whole Yop thing. They are the damage class, but the cross no slouch. Especially at end games,
Sure.
like the Craw, body bags all over the place.
Really? Okay. All right. Maybe I just got to give it. I don't know, man. I'm waiting till I hit level 145 on my craw, which I'm almost there. I'm at 143 right, or 144 actually, probably I think. But once I get to 145, I'll be able to cast explosive arrow twice in a turn. So maybe my damage numbies will change once I get that second second opportunity to do that spell in a turn, and then maybe get a proper set. Then maybe those numbers might change.
Yeah, and then going back to the topic, I was a big proponent. I was not looking forward to starting over on Epsilon, but the server and the community, it definitely won me over. I do come from Grandapan. I do have like an end game team over there. I've kind of done everything there. So I was hesitant to starting over here. I thought it was going to be boring. I was not looking forward to like trudging through like the beginning area of the game. But I do give the team props, the Ankama team and the developers, that they made the game feel fresh. Uh, a lot of changes they made when it comes to quality of life and just streamlining. They did a fantastic job. Like I said, like especially with the Silver Dofus kind of guiding you through different areas of the game, the different mechanics. It was a very pleasurable experience, and yeah, I'll be sticking to Epsilon for the long term. Uh, I just had so much fun on the server, and just being in the community where everybody shares obviously the same language it's a big perk, because I've gone back to Grandapan just because I do have some houses there I don't want to lose, and some paddocks, and
Yeah.
it's like I log on to my Saram over there. I'm like, I just don't want to be here anymore. It's just
Yeah, sometimes I'll like
it feels different. It feels different.
I was gonna ask you guys. Yeah. How
sometimes
does
I'll
how
like
does Go ahead. Go ahead.
sometimes I'll like enter like a dungeon with other people with the group finder, and I'm like surprised every time they speak English. I'm like, oh, English players, wait a second. This is an English server. I'm so not used to people speaking English. So it's amazing that I'm able to communicate with everybody. I love it.
No, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a big deal that they open an English server for English speaking players, but it's on them on how to grow the community. I mean, us as content creators, we can only do so much, right? But I hope to keep pushing when it comes to like advertising and marketing. Obviously, they got Wahpoh in. They reeled him in. Um, but
There's a lot to like about this game, man. It's just like I know a few buddies from the Marvel Strike Force community that have tried it and they've liked it. I just think it's just the game's a little too time consuming. Like Marvel Strike Force, you can hop on, you could do all your things in about, I don't know, an hour at the most, and you can get everything done. With this game, you really have to. It's like the real definition of labor of love when it comes to a mobile game, right? Like to think that a mobile game takes up this much time is it's not for everybody for sure.
yeah, and that's one of again, going back to like where a lot of this gameplay design loops and the gameplay design elements are still stuck like 15 years ago, right? And they've been, the game definitely has gotten better, especially when it comes to like the dailies and the two rooms and the boss when it comes to dungeons. But they do need to like kick it up a notch and keep doing that. Where it's like, condense the scope of it. They did it with the player size, where the group size is only 4 players now, right? Um, I know a lot of people weren't a fan of that, but it does help when it comes to the mobile environment, just because they are competing with like games like with Raid Shadow Legends, Clash of Clans, stuff like that, where you could just log in for like 10 minutes, and
Right.
and you're done for the day, right?
Right.
So I do get the criticism where it is very time consuming, but you do can get you can get it like done uh, more quicker than you used to back in the day. So
Well, that's good.
yeah, I mean the game definitely has come a long way from how much was 7 years ago, 7 8 years ago, where it was just a straight up port of the PC game.
Right. I did have a question for you guys. Since you guys have experience of playing on the other servers on Grand Upon and Doge, how much different is it? Like, I mean, obviously the economy is going to be way different because this is a new server, but just in terms of the experience and progression, like how does it feel any different from those other servers or no? Like, I mean, economy aside.
So my experience with Dodge, I've had a very limited experience with Dodge, but from the amount of time that I've spent on it, like people are way further in the economy in Dodge than they are in Grandapan. I have no clue why, but they're selling. I've seen people selling on that server a cape made out of Dofus. Like what? And I went on the trade chat. Everyone is selling like the craziest things. Like it's very clearly like they're way further. I don't know if Challenger has the same experience, but from what I saw, like the Dodge economy is way far ahead of the Grandapan community.
For Dodge.
Oh, it's Dodge? I don't know why I thought it was Doge. I'm stupid.
That's fine. Maybe it is Dodge. I don't know. A
No,
lot of these French words, I don't say them out loud.
yeah, well, they have a Doge pet, so I was like, oh, maybe it's just like maybe they're just like funny like that. I don't know. This game does a lot of funny stuff.
Yeah, like again, it's got a very quirky humor. It's got a very like very colorful aesthetic, which it's cool and all, but it does kind of hurt it in the end when you're competing with like the more gritty, traditional MMOs, which the game is competing against.
Yeah.
But all right here, all right. So I'm gonna do the giveaway here. Go ahead and switch the screen. All right. So let's make sure I got everybody here. If you don't see your name, let me know. And this is for the Enchanter pack, I believe it's called.
Can we add one more name to the drawing? She's having trouble finding the chat right now, so if you could add Solyen, Soleyen, I'm sure she would like to enter as well.
Soye.
Solyen. She's having trouble accessing the chat. It's weird.
Oh, they're in
But
my.
I'll help her figure it out.
All right.
Sorry for the birds. I don't know if you guys could probably hear the birds.
Let's see
Sorry
my
about that.
name, Adrian Cerritos. Keep in mind, people, this is for Epsilon giveaway only. So if you're not on the Epsilon server, I won't be able to put onto your account. My name's not there. All right, just bear with me, folks. Bear with me, folks. Actually, I've got Dancer the Great twice here. Oh, actually, Adrian Cerritos here twice. Okay. All right. I guess I'll do a countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's hit it. Here we go. Good luck, everybody. Oh. Virtual gamer? Virtual gamer? I think we got a winner. Virtual gamer, congratulations. Is that the little sound effect? I like the little sound effect it plays. But congratulations, you won an Enchanter pack. Make sure you leave me your character name, your account name, and the server, which is obviously Epsilon. Well, yeah, congratulations, guys. All right, so we are coming here to an end, and we'll do a raffle here to wrap things up. And this is the big one, guys. This is the big one. We're talking about $50, 50 euros, whatever that translates to into US dollars. Anybody know?
Like 50, 52, $53, I think.
50-ish bucks, right there. The big ones right there. You can spend, don't spend it all in one place. All in one place. So
That's a nice pack right there. That pack you just gave, that is a nice pack.
that is. I've seen some people with this. It's definitely eye catching, and once you see it on somebody, it's like, oh, that's kind of fancy looking.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
All right, but this is for actual $50 worth of Ghoul Team. So there's some money for you here in a sense.
Yeah.
So for this one, wrap it up here. We're gonna do enter 5, guys. Enter.
That's what, 40,000 Ghoul Teens? Jeez.
Is it? You know what? I have the
Yeah.
game up and running here.
It's 40K.
Yeah, 40K. Yeah, there we go. There you go. It's a nice chunk of change right there. And guys, to wrap this up, if you guys have any final statements, anything you want to let people know, any videos, any content you're working on, this would be the time to do it. Risen, take us home, Risen.
Take us home? What do you mean by that?
Take us home. Is there any final comments you have in regards to the game?
Oh.
Any last thoughts?
Okay, so let's take us home. So I would say this game is very challenging compared to other games, and it's very fulfilling, but it's so underrated. It's probably, I would call it one of the most underrated games of all time, and maybe I'm biased. I've been playing it for a long time. But this game just deserves so much love. There was a girl who I dated. She lived with me. I met her from this game.
Oh, no way.
Wow.
She moved to Arizona. I met her in this game.
Whoa, that's
Like,
cool.
This game is a second world. It's a secondary society. You make friends who are real friends. You fight monsters together in a bonding way, and it's so real. Like, once you really start playing it for a while and you're fully invested, this is another world we're talking about, especially with how much time like you were saying, how much time we invest for a mobile game. And it almost increases the immersion, the fact that Dofus is always in your pocket. It really makes it feel like it's real, it's a world in your pocket. And it just deserves so much love. And I hope one day people really realize what it's worth, and it gets the full swing from the entire world. The world needs to know about this game, and that's the drive behind my channel. I want to help new players. I want to keep them around. Risen Rogue Academy, that's my channel. I want to help new players, keep them around, communicate with the developers through my videos, and I want this game to be loved by all, and that is what drives my channel, and that's what drives me to play this game, because it just it has so much joy within it, and it's time for the rest of the world to know.
That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. Obviously, you would recommend the game, right, to people.
Absolutely, 10 out of 10.
A 10 out of 10. And then Wahpoh, any last final statements you got here?
Why couldn't you have let me go in second, bro? Like, how do I follow up to that? I don't know what you want me to say, man. I'm still I'm a noob, and go watch my comma making video if you're new. If you're not new, still go watch it, because maybe you can criticize me and tell me what I did wrong, or give me some of your tips on how to make commas, because I'm still a noob. But I've been enjoying the community. You guys are great. You guys have been showing me tons of love, and just like Risen, I want to see the game grow, and I'd like to see more people come to the game. And I really do think this is one of the most underrated games I've ever played for sure. So I can't wait to, hopefully continue to make content, for this game and cover it and just get more people into this world of Dofus with us.
So Wappa, I do want to ask you because you do come from like another gaming scene, which is like the Marvel game.
Yep.
And compare, how do you feel like the two uh, uh, games compare in terms of like their engagement with their community? Do you think there is comparable to that game,
No,
or what do you think are like some of the big differences you're finding here on the Dofus Touch space?
So just on the surface level, I think so. The one thing that the other game has are these things called envoys. So these envoys are basically content creators. Most of them are content creators. So envoys are basically content creators that sort of are a voice for the community. So the developers of the game will come to the envoys and tell them, "Hey, this is what we're thinking about rolling out," and then the envoys will relay some of that information out to the community, and then the community as a whole at large will sort of voice their own opinions on what they think about some of the direction that the developers are planning to go with, right? So what I think that this game needs is sort of like an envoy system. I know that they have affiliates, but I've talked to Zai, one of the community managers for this game, to try to see what the whole affiliate program looks like, or to be partnered with Ankama, what that means and what it entails and what it comes with. But I think that if they can really tap into the English market and find a couple good faces for the community like yourselves, to try to just gather some information about like what the game needs, right, to help it get to the next level. If that's something that they're interested in, I think that would really help, is like having some sort of envoy system, where the community at large can come to these envoys, and then the envoys can relay that information out to the developers, and then things can start moving in a better direction. So, but at large, I think both communities are great. I think this community is super friendly. I haven't had any negative experiences so far, and my community is amazing as well. We're more degenerates in my community, but
Degenerates.
everyone here is really cool, and I'm sure there's some degenerates here. But you're gonna get some of that in my stream too. So if you guys want to hang out whenever I'm streaming this game, it'd be awesome. But yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I know. Personally, it's been a pleasure seeing somebody else, somebody new come into the space. It's been great to see some of your stream and your content, and kind of make an effort to be more engageful with the staff and when it comes to creating content, stuff like that. Because I think we all know that the English side of things are pretty small and tiny, especially in comparison to other games. I think I made this comment where like the English community, it's like a little town where everybody goes to the same school, you go to the same supermarket, everybody knows kind of each other, and it's super small. And the hopes is to obviously make it bigger because the game is great. The game is great. The game is fun. Is it perfect? No, but it does have a lot going for itself, and it definitely needs a lot of exposure. And I'm happy to see another content creator come up and start making content for the game, start talking about it, and I'm interested to see what were some of like the impressions some of your other members from your other gaming community have when it came to Dofus.
Um, to be honest, a lot of them didn't really. They just from the name of the game, they were just like, "What's Doofus?" Right? Like that's
is that how they said it too?
Joke.
Doofus.
That's how they said it. I typed it in as it's spelled, and they're like, "What's Doofus? What's Doofus?" And then they saw me playing it and streaming it. Like they saw me streaming the game more than I was streaming Marvel Strike Force, and they're like, "Okay, something's up with this game. Like he's taking a lot of interest into this game." And those that came and hung out and kind of saw what the game was all about, they were like, "Okay, that's interesting. I've played games like that, but maybe I don't have time to play it myself." But it's kind of hard, man. It's hard to get people to play a new game, especially if it's not their idea, right? Like I feel like a lot of times it has to be their idea, or if I'm doing some, I wish Ankama would be like, hey, let's do a sponsorship for you. If you can get 5 people to download the game, just like you would do any other regular streaming sponsorship. And I think more people would be enticed to try the game out just to help me. But yeah, I mean, just from the game and just from the name of the game itself, people were just kind of like, "What is that?" And I tried to explain it to them, and it's yeah.
I was on one of your streams and I saw some guy who was like, "This looks really old."
This looks
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so it does kind of have like a retro kind of feeling, even though they updated the graphics 15 years ago. But it does look kind of old fashioned, and I think that really might slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, because I played like there was a maintenance that happened to the game like sometime last week, and I was like, bro, what do I do with myself? Like, I don't want to play Marvel Strike Force. I don't want to play any other game. Like, this is all I want to play. What do I do? So I went and downloaded the PC client for the regular Dofus onto my computer, and I was like, holy shit! Like, it looks beautiful. Like, the UI and the graphics on the computer version of Dofus is amazing. So I hope that one day they can port some of those graphics or whatever engine they're using over there to like the mobile or the mobile version, right? I also tried Waven too, and I was like, my goodness, like where are these graphics? Like why can't we have it on mobile? So I mean, hopefully that's something that they're aiming to strive for is updating some of the graphics and the engine that they're using.
Yeah, I'm glad. You know what, let me go ahead and spin this wheel here before I go into my final kind of points here. All right, so I got everybody here, everybody in here. Last call. This is for the big one. This is a big one. This is for the $50 worth of cool teens.
Oh yeah, let me get in there. Let me get in there.
Wahpoh, are you in here?
Don't worry about me. I'm good.
All right, yeah, we're doing it manually here. Nightbot didn't work out, but we're doing it manually here.
Yeah.
So all right, we make it work. We make it work.
How you like the wheel though?
The wheel's cool. I think it's fun. And like I said, I'm not a big
Simple, right?
I'm not a big streamer person, but
Yeah.
because I know when streaming is like giveaways is a big thing, and like the Twitch they have like those things where bits, right, where you do
Yeah.
the bits and it plays the sound effect and people see their name.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool, but yeah, I'm just not a streaming person. All right, here we go. All right, let's hit it. Let's hit it, guys. All right, 3, 2, 1. Good luck.
Someone's saying they're up there twice. Are they?
Are they? Oh.
Oh, they are. Voltier.
You know what? It was his luck. No, but I think in the wheel it's only once. Is it?
I think on the wheel you have his name up there twice. I don't know. I saw his name twice, but I don't know. I could be wrong.
Oh yeah, it is twice. I don't know. You know what? We'll give it to him. It's my mistake. He got it. He got it. He got it. All right, Voltaire, congratulations. You were there twice. It was your day, buddy. It was your day. All right, that should be all the giveaways there.
Hey,
congratulations.
Cheater! He cheated.
No, we should.
Should we re-roll?
I don't know.
I say you just take his name off and re-roll. There's not that many people and to have two names.
All right, you know what? I'll leave it.
We got to redo that.
Get wrecked, Voltaire, cheater.
You know what? We'll re-roll. We'll re-roll.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so he is here twice. Oh, he is there twice. All right. All right, we'll go with that.
Yeah, just go ahead and hit remove, and then it'll remove his name once.
I think I got him. I think he's okay.
Oh, you got it. Sorry, the stream's a little behind for me.
Yeah, it's a little unfair. It's a little unfair.
It looks like there's one more who's twice. The real red is what they're saying. Is on there twice. Yeah, he is. The real red is on there twice.
He is on there twice.
Oh yeah, he is. All
right, that's a practice run. All right, we good there? We good?
long as you got rid of the real red twice and Voltaire, then you're good.
All right, I won't add any more people, just to keep it fair from the people who were here. All right, we good? All right, 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
A consolation prize, they're saying.
Yeah, the stream is 19 seconds behind when we speak.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I see everything live.
Gavin Turner. Congratulations, Gavin. But there you go. That is all the giveaway prices.
GG.
GG,
Good job,
guys.
Gavin.
A closing statement, guys. As you were saying, this is something I did bring up to the team, where like the name, it's a hard sell when you have a name called like Dofus, right? Because obviously, Dofus in French doesn't mean the same thing in English, and just the name alone, it's a hard sell for people, right? Where it's like, I don't want to book, you don't want to play a game called Dofus, right? It just doesn't sound epic. It doesn't sound cool. And I'm glad you brought it up with your own community audience, Wahpoh, where like you see that thing happening where like Dofus, like, well, what is that, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I do feel like it's awesome what they did with the English community here. New server, the whole soft relaunch and stuff like that. But I think there's still way more to do when it comes to like marketing and promoting the game, and the game is awesome, but it does have a lot of issues, and it is a hard sell. Like he said, the game looks old. Some people don't really engage with it just because of the way it looks, and yeah, but we're out here, trying to make the game look good, trying to promote the game.
That's right.
The best we can to our best to our abilities. But yeah, welcome, Wahpoh. Everybody's links are on the description below. And people, if you for the winners, if make sure you give me your character name and your account name, and obviously the Epsilon server. If I don't have your information, I won't be able to give you the prize. So make sure you give that to me. Just make sure you tag me, because I'll give it to the Akama staff, and the staff will put it onto your account. Probably next week. It is Friday, so it's probably their weekend already.
Yeah.
They're probably off of work, off on vacation on the beach somewhere. But yeah, guys. Well, Wahpoh, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Risen, pleasure as always.
Glad to be here.
For the people in the chat, thank you so much for coming out, participating here, and everybody on Epsilon server. It was a pleasure being on here. I wasn't much of a believer when it came to the Destination Astrub and doing this community challenge, just because I have become more of a casual gamer myself. I don't have as much time to play Dofus Touch as I used to. But I'm happy I was able to complete all these challenges with you guys, with the community, and get these prices out to you guys. But yeah, thank you so much, guys. And yeah, we'll see where we go. If you see me in the game, say hello. Say hi. If you see Wahpoh, say hi to him. See Risen, say what's up. It's your boy. But yeah, this is it. We're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thank you again. Until next time, take care of yourself and